Good evening, folks. Welcome to Reaching Out with Eddie. Hope everybody had a safe weekend. Just want to talk about a couple of things, but before we get started, I want to speak. How you doing, Marie?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. What about you, Richard?
Real good.
So how was your weekend?
Real good. I relaxed.
What about you, Marie?
It was good. I was having much
somewhat
spasms the weekend. Yeah. But I was living, so I'm good.
And we got 3 titles for this show. Use information to rise up.
Tell it like it is.
Dice, what's up?
That was it.
Oh, that's it. Tell it like it is. Okay. So that's what we're going to do today, folks. We're going to tell it like it is. Marie, I'll let you open up just the show and just talk about some things that concerns you. One of the things that you called me about was the $65,000 that LaToya Brown daughter received as a scholarship.
From the Housing Authority.
Yeah. I'll let you talk about that.
Good evening, Pete. We label this show Information to Rise Up because we try to bring you facts for you to use to put it at your life, to make better decisions for you, your family, and your extended family to rise up. We say tell it like it is because what we tell you, they are facts. And we don't just want you to think, oh, they going to tell me something like a politician and want me to believe like they can tell me what to do. No. Value the look up the information for yourself. Ask somebody who you think would know. But nevertheless, we don't have no time to lose. Because the reason why I feel so strongly, I felt strongly for a while, I'm so disappointed in the leaders of Meridian, and I have been for years. But now, you know what? Remembering Little Black Wall Street, the bombing. You know, they say 9/11 was the first terrorist attack on American soil. No, it wasn't. They tore that city up. They used bombs, whatever they had to. Remembering that? Now, I've been known about that about 30, 40 years. Okay, now we got a year anniversary, the murdering of George Floyd. We just had Hooktown Sheriff in Carolina say they're not going to charge officers that murdered another. Nothing has changed. But nothing will change unless you do something to change it for yourselves. What we waiting on?
I'd like to interject on that too, and that is true. You know, you have Attorney Abby Robertson in Jackson, Mississippi, is taking on, and she's amazed.
A firecracker.
She's just perplexed. She's enthralled. I mean, because of all the wrongdoing that's been going on here in the city of Meridian, it's a wow factor, folks. And I mean, you have like Davon Hardy that was killed, and it was covered up by this police department and this administration that's here now. And then you have Levi Gibbs, who was just beaten very, very bad. He was beaten so bad that they took him to the feds and charged him. And the magistrate, the judge in charge, did not like that at all. This is not a federal prisoner. You bringing him all the way into my courtroom for a felon with a handgun. Why didn't you take this? This is a state case.
That's right.
And why didn't you take it there? But the reason why they done that, folks, because he was beat so bad, they was running with the evidence. Let's go and hide the evidence. And Chris Reed used his connections with the feds in order to get him charged.
That's right.
With the marshals. And that federal judge did not like that at all because it's a waste of their time. Now they have that case, and so you're going to have Levi Gibbs' families filing lawsuit. And not to mention the police officers such as Antball, such as Thomas Van. I mean, it's just so many.
Don't forget
Lieutenant Rita Jacks.
What's the young man that was killed over
Gary
in the
Barber.
ditch?
Gary Barber.
And then we got another young man that was beat up, the Howell young man. All of these things happened in the last year and a half.
That's right.
All in Meridian, Mississippi. And you going to tell me, think about it. That could have been one of people, somebody you love. And that's the first thing I want to talk about. Let's just look at this. And if you want to know the names, we have every last one. We have had 18 officers to leave this force within the last year to year and a half, 2 years at the most. Okay, 16 of which are black. 16. Most of them veteran officers, not no 1 year, 2 year officers. Okay, you got them trying to fire, harass, intimidate Rita Jack, Lieutenant Rita Jack. They have tried to, well, they have passed her over for promotions several times. A veteran with a stellar record. Another black officer, female, that they tried to fire. Then you got Thomas Van, harassed, intimidated, tried to fire.
And still trying to fire him.
And yes, still trying to fire him right today. Another black officer up under this administration. All of this happened. Come on now. I've named you 16 officers that has left this department. And then, okay, after Mr. Van and Rita, now you got Holt. This man right here. And Loretta Allen. That's got retaliation charges against them.
Right. And let me interject there. And it's not just, it's us. We were singled out and we were charged because of the retaliation or anger, don't like you. But they have charged other people and had to drop charges because of incompetency in their investigation.
That's right.
They arrested folks, and I want to tell you, if any of you guys know those folks, then have them call an attorney, have them call Reaching Out with Eddie, inbox us, call me up. We have an attorney that will take on these fights. What you may have here in the state of, in Meridian, Mississippi, is a class action against this administration and against the Meridian Police Department. And I got to say this, Rita, I'm really concerned. I talked to a couple of friends of mine, but I'm concerned. What concerns me is that there's no substance coming from Jimmy Smith.
The thing about it is, we so close to election. That's why I'm saying this. Because my question is, I really haven't heard him say, there is no way that I'm going to put up with this. Who would put up with this? There is no reason to think that we or our children or our communities or our churches would benefit or would even be treated fairly upon the chief that would allow this. All of this is true.
Well,
how many more? How many more black officers have to leave? How many more are we going to allow to be intimidated? How many more are we going to allow to be fired? Oh, will it be okay for them to take us back to the 1960s where maybe you had one black officer on the whole force? Would that be okay? Would it be okay for them white males to talk to our black females any kind of way and nothing is done? Is that okay? Now, I want to say this, and I was intending to say it from the beginning. This has nothing to do with Caucasian people unless they are the ones coming against us illegally, unfairly, unjustly, racially, or being a sexist.
Yeah, that's right.
If you're not doing any of those things, God bless you, we love you, we'll help you any kind of way you can. But if you fall in any of those categories, it's time for us, that's right, it's time for us, point blank, period, to rise up against you. Take a stand there until the wind comes. Because if we don't, how can you not see what's happening here? And I'm sorry, no, it's just not the white chief. We got a black man that's been up under the housing authority, over the housing authority, for years. We have more housing units than it's to be a city this small. But now I know for a fact when Mr. Burwell was there were home ownership programs. They had houses that they bought to put family in home. He always had something going for working families to move out of the housing unit into a house. Okay, when Mr. Jackson was there.
Let me interject a little bit before you go on. I'd like to say this, folks, too, is that when she mentioned the housing authority, it reminded me again of the $65,000 that LaToya Brown's daughter received. That $65,000. One thing I like about the late Ernest Smith is that he would raise anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 every year, and he gave away scholarships this time of year to students that were deserving. If he had $6,000, that was 6 children that he gave $1,000 apiece to. We got this man here gave that family $65,000. That's 6,500 children in public housing that could have got $1,000 apiece, and this is not right.
Okay.
6,000. Yeah, 6,500. That's
65,000.
right. No, 6,500 students could have got $1,000 apiece.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even if you say, well, they didn't know how to apply for this and did well, you could have serviced 100 children and still. Instead of 6,500, right. You could and gave them, but to and I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that.
10 students, $6,500.
Amen.
You could have gave 100. So it's a lot that you could have did, but they didn't do.
Exactly. The point is,
it's sad that they get.
You don't pick on nobody. You don't. I don't want to be racially profiled in no circumstances. I don't want my kids and grandkids and none of that. Don't want yours. But it happens. But
Marie, I really, we kind of like real close to the election, and we talk about a lot of things that's going on in this city. We got to give the people information about this election and where this lead to. What this lead to, people, is that you have a choice. Right now, you got to use the information that Marie is giving you and the information that you have to rise up. Right now, we have 3 people that's running for mayor.
That's
now,
right.
Conventional wisdom suggests that the race will boil down between Jimmy Smith and Weston Linderman. And so we got to look at it. And of course, yes, Robert Ray is a candidate, but some people would consider him not a viable candidate. But if he's there, he's still a viable candidate until you guys go in there and make your choice. And I got to say this, is that one of the things, I didn't watch WTOK, but I did watch Weston Linderman when he gave FaceTime on Facebook after the forum between Robert Ray, Jimmy Smith, and Weston Linderman. And one of the things that Jimmy kept going back to is that, Marie, you said, you touch upon this. I want you to say, what is it that Jimmy Smith kept saying when he was asked a question about doing something? I don't have a plan for that, and I'm paraphrasing. Let me study up on that.
Right,
Let me get back with you. We got to pay him $100. And look, I gotta be who I am. You understand what I'm saying? I have talked about everything and everybody. Jimmy Smith is not giving us anything. He's not telling us anything that he's going to do. I will get back with you. What is going on? What is it that Jimmy Smith is not saying? What is it that he's afraid to say? Also, I've been told by a reliable source that Sherry Berry and is backing his campaign. That Sherry Berry was out. Matter of fact, I saw her myself. I sure did. She was in her vehicle and she had a trunk full of signs, Jimmy Smith signs, and she was going door to door knocking on people asking them to vote for her. I didn't hear this, but I was told that she told one person that she was going to be Jimmy Smith's CAO. See, now, Marie, don't interrupt me.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going.
No, I'm going to stop. No, I'm doing hand animation. If Sherry Berry is going to be Jimmy Smith CAO, he's going to lie and say it's not. He's not going to tell you anything. But here's the problem with him. He cannot deny that if somebody's saying it, she said it. Well, tell us who your CAO is going to be. It says that Tim Miller's going to have a job. Ed Skipper going to be chief financial officer. Going to make Keith McCary the chief of police. Well, hold up. That's what we was told initially, but now we're told that Sherry Berry likes Chris Reed. So, wow. So what we don't want is we don't want a damn puppet. We don't need a puppet. We don't need somebody sitting in that seat like a token nigga. That's what Malcolm X talked to us about in 1964, April the 12th, 1964. We cannot let them go and get one of their Negroes and bring it to us and have us vote for us, and we still don't control our policies and our politics. Now, you got a chance now, folks. Now, Jimmy Smith don't like me for saying this, and it's his own damn fault, because I've been reaching out to him. He has not came here, but he went to WMOX. How is it that a black man can cater to white folk and not cater to black folk? Oh, I know what Tube Bell's saying. He went to the NAACP. Well, that's a token organization. It was messed up. Everybody complained about that. They were trying to control, keeping me out, trying to keep Marie Franklin out, trying to keep Richard Lofton out. So much so that didn't hardly nobody go to it. And then the connection was really, really bad. So that wasn't a forum, but we've out on this show here, this podcast, everybody has came here but Chad Acton and Jimmy Smith. Is something wrong with that, folk? Ty Bill came here. Miss what her name? Rankin Easton, she came here. So why can't Jimmy Smith come here? Oh, Robert Ray came here. Weston Lindemann came here. Everybody has came here but those two. What is it that they are afraid of? We don't mistreat people when they come here. But I'm really concerned about Jimmy Smith. I've talked to some people. No, I'm not going to call their name. And they seem to think this and think that. You can think what you want to think. I can't do nothing but go by what he's showing me. He ain't showed me nothing. He ain't showed me nothing. He ain't showed you nothing. It's something wrong with you niggas out there going to vote for somebody just because. So what? So I'm kind of pissed off at Percy because Marie, he was gone all the time. He didn't do his job.
No. But what he did do went against the citizens.
He did.
For just a few people.
Well, I'm pissed off at him. What I'm pissed off about because we paid him $90,000 for his behind to be there, and he was not there.
Nothing. Right.
So I don't want to pay a candidate, and I haven't voted yet. And I done said this. I just gonna call your name, Jimmy Smith. I cannot vote for you if you can't tell me that you're gonna get rid of Chris Reed ass and investigate that police department.
And then the thing about it is, the facts are there. It be different because now what he have been saying is this. Well, what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna go in and the people was there. I'm gonna interview them and evaluate them. They've been there for 8 years.
And what did we do on the scene?
How did we not? The people that's been there, the people have spoke to this administration. We no longer want. Who been in their job for 8 years and don't know what they doing and can't pass the interview? No, the shape that this city is in. Now we done talked about the police department over and over and over and over. Nothing has been done. Now I can give you facts. Even after the Mr. Burwell, then came Mr. Jackson. He was the exact same way. He came in with the plan. He came in helping the people in the housing authority. He had several different programs for home ownership. I was the realtor that he came to. And then
Reverend Watson, Gregory Watson, he was the person that was over the grant program.
The carousel was his baby. All of them, Frank Berry and all them places being painted, that was up under him. What can Ron Turner tell us that he has done since then? What? You mean to tell me there is absolutely no working families in the housing authority and been there since he been there? How many can say they own a home? Why didn't you go to get some of that grant money? Some of them houses that was empty, that was standing, that needed a little refurbish, but fix those houses, get them up to FHA standards, and put families there. That's what Mr. Jackson did. That's what Mr. Burwell did. I just want him to
tell me where he gets $65,000 to give to one person. That ain't nothing but, folks, that ain't nothing but Percy Bland ordering his stooge to pay LaToya Brown $65,000. you know, Marie, you know, I gotta tell it my way. Two Bell, don't do that, Two Bell. Let me tell it my way.
Tell him to no, Two
Person
Bell.
paying Latoya Brown $65,000. They stealing money still. Person, when Western Limdom become mayor of this city, guess what's going to happen? Western Limdom is going to order an investigation in that police department. He's also the yeah. We got to. One of the things that you know, I just got a little text. Two Bell said. Two Bell just sent me this little message right here. I got you, Two Bell. You know what Two Bell said? Said, bro, I ain't sent you nothing. Yes, you did, Two Bell. Don't do that. Two Bell said, well, let me read it then. I ain't gonna let you read it.
Too bad I got him because I'm reach over
Hey, Richard, what you gotta have some input on this.
A lot of times we fuss and we fuss and we fuss. The problem is this: we gotta do for ourselves. You can't depend on nobody you put in office. I don't care who you put in office. The rich folks control them always. When you see a man get a job, he think he's getting a good job. No, I'll work you so darn hard you can't even think how to help your own peoples out. That's a game.
Yeah.
You don't realize you're being played, but you are. Anytime a person give you a good job, you think it's a good job? No, that's to control you. Everything is about control. Once I can't control you, then I want to put the law on you. It's always
kill you, assassinate you.
Always, it's games. You've done this
but
all
you know
their lives.
what? It's not like, though, Richard, that we're asking for all of the cake. The cake, when you look at all the different monies that come into this city, whether it be federal dollars, whether it be state dollars, the person, I really don't, I talked to someone today, I'm like, oh, I ain't about to call their name because I don't have to call their name. I know it's a fact. And if you look at the evidence, you're going to know it's a fact. The person who's at the top, attitude reflects leadership. And I don't care what happened in the middle. I don't care what happened at the bottom. It's the head. So if we cannot count on Jimmy to tell us where we fit into this piece of cake, then we got to make a decision where we can get in, where we fit in. The only person who has even mumbled out of his lips that he's going to try to help everybody is Western Lindemann.
That's true.
That's true.
You know, people say, well, you know, no, most of the time you can't go by what a person tell you. I go by most people that I don't know, especially by what they show me.
Yeah.
But he has shown us and not told us what we got to go on.
And I gotta say this, that Charlene, you know I like you. Y'all call her Carol. And Jimmy, you
Oh,
know
I
I
love
like
her.
you too.
I love
I mean,
her.
you family. But Jimmy, it's not right. It's not right to the city of Meridian, and I wouldn't even consider anyone a friend if you my friend when I'm saying something good to you. If you my friend, my brother told me some harsh stuff a couple. You hear Too Bad talking. That ain't Too
You need
Bell.
to come tell us some hard stuff, not Too Bell.
Too Bell said, don't put our business out in the street.
That's right.
Too Bell, I ain't finna tell him, but my point of it is that he told me
It was the truth.
It was the truth, and I don't
And
love
it
him
was to
any
help
less.
you.
I don't love him any less.
But let me tell you
I
why
didn't
we
take
tell
my
it.
ball and run.
Let me tell you why Hope and I and Richard are telling you, Jimmy. Let me tell you why. We have sat back and waited. We have waited.
But we
and
ain't got but how
and
many
we
days
got
left?
6 days left. So, however you get a message out to our community, like I said, this has nothing to do against Caucasians. If y'all think it is, that means you're thinking wrong. I can't help how you think. But the way I'm delivering it, I'm trying to let my people know. People always talk about you lazy. People talk about you don't want to work. People talk about you keep up this and you keep up that. Show them that you know how to rise up and take care of yourself. Show them you know how to stand up for yourself. Because what you see now is going to get rough if you do not make a decision, the right decision, on June the 8th. Because if you don't have anything now, and no one is telling you that they're going to even help you get better cover, you can do nothing in lieu of a job, money, vehicle, home, cell phone, without money. And if you don't put the right person there to put money into our communities, into our children. What kind of summer program? None of what we have asked have come from our candidate, Jenny. No, you can't. I cannot afford to go in a box and vote on favoritism, and I'm thinking my own self and my people. We got no control over anything in this city.
And I want to say this is that I don't never depend upon anybody to take care of me but me. It's simple as that. And I think that everybody has changed out of the department. Ain't nobody. I think that Jimmy Smith is showing you and everybody out there a whole lot of disrespect when he talking about we can do better, gonna clean up the streets. I done been in some of the worst. I done rode on some of the worst roads in Hoover, Alabama. But it's one of the best cities to live in the state of Alabama. I done been on some of the worst roads in Trustville, Alabama. But it's one of the best cities to live in the state of Alabama. I'm not to give a damn about roads and things. No, we don't want a carpet, but we want to fix our education system first. We want to fix this racism, this corruptness, this sexism, and all this stuff that's going on in this city, and it's still going on because you got to be really, really bold and ignorant as hell to give one family $65,000. Ron Turner, we're going to investigate you behind that. While they all get in happy and everything, that we know Jimmy's not going to do it, but we're going to put Western Linderman in there. Western Linderman is going to do it. We're going to investigate you and fire your ass, Ron Turner. You know, Mama Figure Hazel. I can't help it. It just slip out sometimes.
Look, I can tell you this. Ron Turner, if you didn't know it, and if he don't see this, somebody tell him. If he didn't know it, his job as a director of the housing authority is to service as many occupants as he can.
And he didn't do
and
that.
65,
one family,
all the children you got that live in the housing authority, that's going to graduate. If you give one $65,000,
you should give them all $65,000.
And you know we don't have that kind of money. Now, don't get me wrong. I know. Wait a minute.
The housing authority might have it.
No, exactly. Wait a minute. I know he get money coming in here now. Oh yeah, he got money. He go and he got some of the best grant writers that in Meridian that I'm told. So I'm pretty sure he went and got grants. But still,
what you saying is true. Grants.
That's
There's all kinds of grants that come to every program that's operating to feed or take care of anybody.
That's right.
Grants is your keys, but they refuse to let us get them. You didn't do this right. You didn't sign that right.
Right.
It's a game they play on you to keep you from. Well, tell me how to do this so I can get what I need.
And then the thing about it, who is it that's judging? Okay, let's say they had to write a paper. Let's say the paper was, I don't care, 10,000 words. Who was the judges? You mean to tell me the citizens of Meridian own our money, represent the housing authority, but we don't supposed to get no information? And this is the thing. We don't want you to think, now, Hope said he don't care nothing about roads. I do. I'm tired of getting my car aligned. I'm tired of rotating my tire. We get money for streets. Like Western Linderman got a plan for streets instead of borrowing money all the time. Like that Ray say now, we paying back from a long time ago. I don't care. If you done borrowed money to fix the streets, then why ain't they fixed? The thing is, we want our money to come from every department, every year. It's the same old, same old. It's that we didn't have money for this. We didn't have, but you had money for the last 8 years to make downtown look like New Orleans, didn't you?
You always have money.
I know it.
I don't care what nobody tell you.
I know it.
There's always money. There's money there. And one thing about the housing authority, they have power. They have real power. They don't know they got this power. Your children can do a lot of things that a grown-up cannot do. But the children got the power. But the families are always mixed up. Their mind don't work right. See, the people that know how to make things work, they're not telling nobody. Why? Control. As long as I control you, can't do nothing for yourself.
And then they ain't telling nobody so they can give it out to the people they want to have. Just like this $65,000. Because like I said, now, this girl's name has been circulating for the last 8 years. And the only thing that we know that she's been doing is what Percy Bland wanted her to do. And then she was just arrested
twice
for covering up a murder of somebody's child.
And then
so how do that mean that your child come out with $65,000 in college money?
You know what I think, Marie? I think that money is missing and person is using things like that in order to kind of hide or either paying her off. But I want to say this is that when I said I don't care about roles, folks, that don't, perhaps maybe let me kind of like be a little bit more,
excuse me. He's trying to tell you he's concerned about the most important thing.
That's right. Thank you, Richard. That's right.
Prioritizing.
Yes, I care about roads, but I'm pointing out that all this candidate is talking about fixing the street.
And then let me tell you something. You made a good thing when you said that. You brought up something we have not got to yet. Okay, we don't talk about the police department. We don't talk about the housing authority. Okay, let's get how many people go in front of the city council and they ask for money for their different organizations. And then people who be on boards, they find ways to make whatever board they on better. How many people have came and presented anything to make the school board better?
Nobody.
How many people on them school board have they changed out? How many people from the school board have came and asked the city for some money to help those children?
Is something you finna say, Richard?
A lot of time they control these boards. They control these boards.
Of course they do.
Yeah. And I wanted to point out too, people, is that how many times I'm gonna say it one more time. How many times a black person went before the city council and got money for them for something going on in our community for us? How about we didn't have but one holiday, is Juneteenth. They don't give us but a few $1,000s, and now you done created something called a 3-Foot Festival. Now it was the 3-Foot brothers built that building in the early 1900s. Their name was Dreyfus. Dreyfus is German for 3-foot. And so now we got a building that we couldn't even damn go into when I was a child unless we was going in there and coming right back out because we had to go to the Lamar building around the corner. I hadn't finished yet. Okay. And so I'm pointing out, so now, and look how big it is. Look how bad. Mm-hmm. So here we is again, we promote white nationalism at the detriment to us. How can a city that's majority black not do anything for black people? And then they go and get, because they know that we have the numbers, they go and get somebody to represent us that hadn't said anything about us, what he's going to do for us, and that's Jimmy Smith. And not only that, Jimmy Smith said another thing too. He wants to keep getting bond money. Mm-hmm. And guess what? Government bonding is the only company in the state of Mississippi that gives bond, and they get 1% of the money. So understand, a $300 million bond, they get $30 million. Rick Barry is the attorney for Lauderdale County, Mississippi, right here, that does that and makes sure everybody around, probably in the other counties too.
And the 3-foot put-in actually was supposed to revert back to the city.
Yeah, well, because that ain't my point.
No, I know that's not your point, but my point is that any mayor that would support that money, all the money, we put new pipes in front of it, we put new street lights in front of it, we did all, and it's no telling how much of our tax dollar went into the 3-foot building.
And it still ain't open.
And it don't have anything to do with us.
Don't have nothing to do with us. It has a negative history. It has a negative, oppressive, racist history that we're promoting while we have Juneteenth talking about our freedom, and they killed it just like this administration killed Fifth Street. And then we get a person that's going to come in here, and you hear Western let them go and look on all three. Robert Ray page. Look at Jimmy Smith page. We can do better. I want to fix the street. We're going to keep doing bonds. You understand that he's talking about keeping everything the same. I'm not going to fire anybody. I'm going to interview people. Damn it, they ass got fired damn April the 6th and the 27th when they had to run out. We fired them. Ain't no administrator. Sherry Berry, when she got the job, she fired everybody. She might have kept one or two.
Yeah, she might have kept one.
Everybody keep Ed Skipper.
Right.
The thing she did was you clean house. That way I don't have to worry about you coming behind me.
Well, like he said, except for Ed Skipper, that's because in the history of Meridian,
we're not going to talk about Ed Skipper.
Right.
That's what we're going to talk about.
I know. That's what I'm trying to tell you is that somebody that say that you said she might have kept a few. Like you said, everybody kept Ed Skipper. Well, how many people? What has Jimmy told us about who you going to get rid of?
And then we have some of the most intelligent minds in the black community that's supporting Jimmy Smith. I'm talking about we have some, I don't want to call you bougie niggas.
Please don't.
I may have just did.
Well,
excuse me, Hazel. Excuse me, mama figure. My sister over here, she finna slap me with her Bible, bro. but the thing of it is that what we cannot do. And Sherry Berry said, so here you have the Berry family, the Berry people, and I don't have nothing against them. I don't. But I do. Yes, I do. And I'm gonna tell you what I have against them. I have a problem where you are so greedy with money. You're making money now. You're already millionaires. That you're going to come in and you're going to manipulate this system in order to keep status quo going. And then what I don't like is that and I was told this by, someone, and what Robert Ray said it, and is that Jimmy Smith is very limited in what he's able to do and say anyway. And that's not, and you can kind of see that because he doesn't say that. Now, I know, I'm not his doctor, Too Bell, but I know that he's had several strokes. And I've had relatives and family members that had strokes and they never fully recovered from it.
Did he have several or did he have one?
Too Bell, you see, you just Too Bell, man. Too Bell, he had 15 strokes back to back. What difference does it make?
It makes a lot of difference. Let me tell you something. The point is, his health is where he could have told us what he want to do in the police department. He couldn't have had no
regardless of what his health
is. That's right. Regardless.
What if he don't remember it, Marie?
He's had a campaign, baby. He had a campaign.
But he ain't never saying nothing, and he mostly is stoic.
What do you mean when you
say? I'm gonna tell you it's like this. I don't care if I get a position. I don't have to worry about what I'm gonna do.
Right.
Because I got other people to help me run
this thing.
You
better say that.
That's what's going on. Other people going to run this thing,
that's
not
right.
me.
That's right.
Other people going to run.
But understand that I see everybody shaking their head too, Bell, but that ain't what Weston Lindemann said. Damn it, he said he going to run and he got a plan. And he's very astute. He can talk for minutes after minutes, hours at a time, and he might glance at a note and all this is coming from his head. He remember all this stuff about Jimmy Smith did not challenge John Robert Smith. He didn't challenge John Robert Smith when it was Smith versus Smith. He only lost by about 2 or 3 votes to Too Bell. Let me tell it my way. And he went and started working for government bonding, which is the company that provides bonds for everybody in the state of Mississippi with a 6-figure income. And so talking about 30 years, that he had 30 years experience, hell no, folks. Jimmy Smith don't have 30 years experience. He was on the supervisor board for 20 years, and he was a police officer for 10 years. Maybe he has a combined 30 years public service experience, but he hadn't done that in over 20 years. Too bad, let me tell it my way. Maybe 15 or 20 years, but you got to look and put the piece together. And in those times, he hadn't done anything. In those times, he had 1 stroke or 2 stroke or 15 strokes. It does not matter. He's an elderly man that's sick and should not be there, and the Bears are out there running and trying to get this man elected. She didn't help Dustin Markham, but she sure was out there when she was running her campaign. She didn't care. I'm telling you what I know. We would be at a house and she seen me. She still tried to talk to me and get me to go and leave Purse alone and start supporting her. She didn't care. She was very bold. She saw that she was about to lose. So she was out there. She's worried now that Weston Lindemann is going to do this thing, so she done hit the streets again, folk. She's telling people that she trusted she's going to be Jimmy Smith CAO. He met with them. He met with them before he went to the NAACP, folks. Remember I said that the NAACP is merely a token organization that has moved away from its original concept that can, again, be a viable organization if they get leaders that are more progressive. Well, they have that now, but I got to add to that too, Bill. They can't be bougie. They can't try to be political correct. They got to stand up for the truth. They got to look at things factually. You can't keep people like Marie and myself and Randall Jennings out because you don't like what I say. Because some people like Marie. Some people like Eddie Holt. Some people like him. You know, and some people love me. And you know what? And George Thomas told this out of everything he said that made some damn sense is that he won he lost the first time. Go back and look at it too, Bill. He won that seat by 1 vote. 1 vote. That was after the recount and everything. He had won it by 6, and when they did the recount, it was 1 vote. Let me tell my story.
And that's another thing we have to look at. Now, Hope made a very good point when he was talking about Sherry Berry. Now, he said that she didn't help Dustin Markham.
She sure did.
When you care what happens to the city as a whole, we knew that Bland needed to come out after his first administration. So if it was about caring for the city, you're right. She would have helped Dustin get in.
Well, they kind of thought that they could stay in the background. Dustin, look, let me talk for a minute. I'm talking to you, Dustin Markham. You know I have a lot of love for you, your family, and I ain't showing you nothing but respect. But everybody thought that the Berry family, you know, boosted him up. Now, I think he spent a lot of money. So whether or not it's true or not is what they thought. But I do know that's not my point. My point is that when Sherry Berry saw that she was going to lose, she hit the streets. She is seeing that Western Linderman is gaining momentum. She's hitting the streets now. She has a trunk full of Jimmy Smith signs. And I didn't hear him say it too, Bill, but I was told by somebody that he said, well, somebody called him up and he said, yeah, she's campaigning for me. Why would she? Why would she? Why would Sherry Berry, and you, I want you to answer this, and I want you to answer too, Marie. And I want you guys to answer it out there in podcast land. Why would Sherry Berry be going around, she's retired, in a majority black town, trying to help a person that's retired become mayor of this city that does not have a platform or a plan for this city? The only thing is we can do better, and he's going to keep basically talking about interviewing department heads and that kind of, when we've already fired them on the 6th and the 7th. So Marie, I want you to answer it, then I want you, and then we're going to go to break. And we're going to open up the phone lines, and we're going to read your comments.
I have absolutely, positively no idea. But I can tell you this. Anyone that campaigns to go against the least of them, which means the neglected, the poor, the medium incomes that have been wiped out, the people that have received injustices, anybody that campaign against them, they are only campaigning to keep this city like it is or worse.
Richard?
It's always about money and power and control. Money, power, and control. That's what I want to keep. Money, power, and control. That's when I work hard to keep it.
And so what I'm to deduct from that is that if it's about money, power, and control, Western Linderman is the deviation of the norm. He's the one that they will not control. He's the one that they haven't been able to get their money to. He's the one that's going to rock the boat. We may say turn over the apple cart. We're going to take a break, folks, and we're going to come back. But before I say this, is that I want you guys to not get mad at me. I really don't care too, Bell.
I was just about to say, you know you don't care.
Yeah, and I got to say this, too. Jimmy Smith, you are a veteran police officer. And by the time Dubose and John Nelson, Teresa Cartwright, and Bobby Davis, and the Davis that's with him now.
The Davis guy.
Both brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bobby Davis and the Davis, Guy Wayne Davis.
Guy Wayne Davis.
Yeah.
And the Johnson guy.
Yeah, and they had to file a lawsuit against the city of Meridian because of the corruption and the racism. The very thing that was going on in the 1990s is going on here today with impunity. And you don't address that, Jimmy Smith. And you are a veteran police officer, and some of these officers you know. How is it that you cannot address that? How is it that you want us to vote for you? You want us to vote for you, but you won't tell us what you're going to give us. I told you my vote for sale. I want to know what I'm getting for my vote. And you wanted to say something?
He say what you going to give us. No, what you're going to help us get that already belongs to us.
Amen on that one.
Because it already belongs to us. We pay taxes. We always have. We the working people. We help build this city. And the money that, I am especially disgraced at people our age is still paying taxes, still doing things, and then you take everything and give it to one group of people. It ain't right.
It's not right at all.
I'm totally fed up.
It's definitely not right. And so, and that's one of the things I want to point out, Jim, is that I'm going to tell you why I didn't vote for you when you ran for re-election as supervisor, and I'm going to tell you why I voted for Wayman Newell. I voted for him because you had stopped listening to us. You would look at us and look through us. You started treating me when I came, too bad, as educated as I am. No matter how much money I have in my pocket, or what kind of vehicle I drive. When I go around white folk and two of them are talking, it's almost as if I'm invisible. Jimmy, you got like that. You got to the point where you start treating us as if we are invisible. And you coming on board with that same problem. You're treating us as if we're invisible and that we're obligated to vote for you. Jimmy, that's the old us. That's not the new Negro.
And you know what? I'm going to say this, then we can go. When I was in real estate, I was on the board. And I was the only black person there. And no matter, I'm always myself. I'm not going to ever pretend. I've never pretended to be something. I might have carried myself a little different, but it wasn't so much different where people didn't recognize Marie. They never, no matter what they thought, no matter what they wanted to say, they never said anything against any decision that I made. Even though I might have fought for the underdog, even though I might have said, well, no, you may not need to put him on, they never let me know. You know why? In order for anyone that has any kind of respect for you, you got to respect yourself.
Yeah.
Stand up on the right. Know who you are. And as long as you know who you are, what somebody else thinks, that's just like today and any day. What you think about what I'm saying, I hope you know that it's for the right, it's for the right reason, and it's for you to make a decision and stand on what's right. But if you don't, and you don't like it, I am absolutely, unapologetically not sorry, because I know I'm telling the truth.
And I want to say this, and then we're going to take the break, is that, Jimmy, you have a sense of entitlement about yourself, but you're not entitled to anything. And the only reason why you went to the NAACP, because you done went to about 3 or 4 things that the white folks invited you to. The first thing you went to, Jimmy, you met with the Republican women at Wyman. And then you met with the GOP. So how is it that you're a Democratic candidate, but you meet with all these people with all this money, but you won't meet with us? You won't even come on this little podcast. You and Chad Aiken. And it's ironic in that. And folks, I'm going to tell y'all, Weston Lindemann is the man for this job. And that's just the truth. And
the truth is, he the only one that told us he wanted.
What he gonna do?
And that's right.
And it's not about Chris Reed, I'm gonna deal with my charges. It's about the state of this city, the state of the police department, the state of public housing, the state of public work. It's the state of community development. It's the fact that here we are giving people money to take care of us, and they're not taking care of us. When my daughter was in a situation, the state stepped in and they pulled her out of the home. And it's been a situation before in earlier parts of my life when my son went to school with a weapon on him. The state stepped in. And so, Jimmy, that's kind of like what we're doing right now. We're going to step in, folks. The only reason why Jimmy's doing that to us is because you are allowing him to do that to us. And so we're not dogs up under the table. Jesus sat down, and when they ate the feast with the 12 disciples, they threw scraps of meat up under the table to the dogs. Jimmy, we're not the dogs under the table. We actually built that table. We're actually sitting around that table, Jimmy, but you won't even come and talk to us. And you want us to vote for us. Folks, the only thing I'm saying is now, and some of you out there ain't going to call your name because I value our relationship. I'm very disappointed in you. I really am. The reason why I'm disappointed in you is because you ain't holding this person that you're working for and trying to get in office to the same standard that you wanted to hold. The candidate that you was running against, you was very angry because you couldn't get a debate. You was very angry because this person had not done anything. I don't even see how, I love you, but I don't see how I can support you doing anything knowing that you really don't care about this city. If Jimmy Smith is truly your friend, and if he was truly your friend, he would understand that he ain't the man for this job. If he was truly your friend, if y'all really friends, it seems to me that you have a relationship based on conditions. And I'm gonna say this about one other person, too. But when I brought charges against Percy Blanche and those other council members saying they were not members of the Democratic Party, it was one person at that meeting, and he stated this, and I'll go before God and say the same thing. I'll look him in his eye and say the same thing. He said that I am resigning. I was a member of the executive committee of the Democratic Party, and I resigned from it when I ran. And so when we was going to rule, we couldn't have a quorum. He immediately removed himself. He said he was quitting because he was Jimmy Smith's campaign manager. And I stood there at the event that Sunday, and Jimmy Smith told well, it was somebody else that was at the venue. You all know I'm talking about. Stated that he said, I'm my own campaign manager. You gotta, and there's a time that he told somebody else that I was supposed to meet him at 1 o'clock. He told me he was gonna call me too, Bill. Now, if he's suffering from dementia, then he ain't gonna remember that. But I'm not suffering from dementia. I remember that. I remember I was supposed to meet with him on a Monday. He never did call me and tell me to come too, Bill. But anyway, we're going to take a break right now. We're going to come back. We're going to open up the phone line, so we're going to take your comments. Dice. Welcome back, folks, to Reaching Out with Eddie, where my guest is Marie and Richard. Folks, what we're going to do is we're going to have a debate here. Thursday, we're going to have a debate. So if you all know the candidates, invite them here. I'm going to contact each of them through their Facebook page and text messaging and ask them to come here Thursday, debate, and that way you can put your questions on there in the very, very beginning. So the second part, we'll let the candidates answer your questions. But we're going to have a debate, and I'm going to let, what I'm going to do is, Dice, man, you're going to have to run that debate. If not, then we're going to have someone else here to do it. Yeah, we'll get someone else to do it. This is one time that I will not appear. Now, if nobody shows up, it's on them. But we're going to have a debate, not a forum. We're going to have a debate here, meaning that the candidates will be able to answer the question, and somebody else, they'll be able to go back and forth, head to head, however you want to say it. But we're going to have a debate here this Thursday. This will be your last opportunity to see your candidates and hear what it is they say. A forum, man, I just...
Tell them leave any comments under the video that they want.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So do that. So when at the end of this video, when this video go out, put comments there of questions that you want to ask. But open up those phone line, Dice, man, and we want to read those comments. Here's what bothers me is that this city has a very, very bad habit of most time not electing the most qualified candidate. I think between Dwayne Davis and myself, I'm the most qualified candidate. I think I'll understand things that he won't understand, but he's off to a good start. Let's see that he stay that way. But it bothers me when intelligent people prop up people in front of us. They complain about the city. They complain about what's going on, but then they take somebody that come along because they've been knowing them. Yeah, you can still be friends, still be uncle, still be granddad, still be brother, still be friends. But it's not for this city. And some of you going to be running for office in about 2 more years. You're going to have to explain this 2 more years. One of the things that I was told that Jimmy Smith said is that for the first 4 years, he going to basically be studying the problem. And then the next 4 years, after he studied the problem, identified the problem, and I'm paraphrasing, then the next 4 years, so he can't fix it in 4 years. The city's in such bad shape. But he can come back in the next 4 years and fix it. Nah. If you don't work out the first 4 years, we send you down the road after that, if you get there.
Let me say this. The reason why it's so urgent, the reason why you really got to study this, you take when Sherry Berry won the seat. The city was not in such dire need for her to come in running. She could come in jogging. Change to people who was trying to do the best they can, and we still would have been okay. Okay, then she go along, putting money in the same, made some bad deals, didn't really do anything. She didn't really do a whole lot against black neighborhoods, but she didn't do a whole lot for them either. But she would meet with you. Okay, and then after her comes Bland. Okay, horrible 8 years for the black community, not for downtown. Now, not just one administration, not just 2 administrations, not administrations, but departments, not just 3. Every department we have received no money from it, none. We didn't get no contracts we didn't get nothing.
And you remember they closed the bridge down for a whole year, and the only thing Percy changed out, he put new boats in.
New boats.
I'm telling you.
I mean,
and
we got nothing, you guys. We didn't get anything.
Yeah.
But now, because after this administration, unfortunately, whoever gets in now, they can't come in jogging.
They gotta
They
come
can't
in
come
running.
in not knowing
What to
nothing.
do.
They can't come in not knowing what all these people and how badly neglected we are. They gotta know where the problem is. They gotta have a plan, and they got to come in fixing it. We are in just as bad a shape in Meridian, Mississippi, as the United States was after Donald Trump.
And I gotta say this too, folks. You gotta, everybody that has ever done a debate on 1010 has been in the studio. Except for Jimmy Smith. You gotta ask yourself, what makes Jimmy Smith so special that he couldn't come where everybody? George Thomas is almost 20 years older than Jimmy Smith, but he came into that studio. Why did Jimmy Smith not go? Now I'm gonna tell you what I was told. Two Belt, don't do that. Don't do that, Two Belt. Two Belt, don't. Y'all notice that we done went through this whole election. Two Belt ain't done nothing to me. Now he done start messing with me, kicking me on the leg and telling me things. Now I'm gonna tell you what I was told. Now I don't know whether it's true or not. I was told that Jimmy Smith was sitting in Sheriff Bear's office with the barracks, and he had a one of them place card in front of him, reading from it, and they was kind of like telling, y'all know how the CIA have things in their ear and they can hear what's said. That's the reason why he didn't come into that studio, because he couldn't bring his helpers or his handlers in there with him. And that didn't look. Let's suppose that what I just said ain't true and pissed the hell out of Jimmy Smith. Boy, you can't tell us what the truth is. He didn't show up. He didn't show up, folks. He did a phone interview. People couldn't call in. Why Jimmy Smith being treated with Kids Club?
Again, I don't care. All I care about is all of these departments. We have been told nothing about what's going to be done immediately to start fixing these things from no one except Weston Lindemann.
That's right.
That's it. What's his name? Mr. Ray said and what he have done. Hey, I don't have nothing to do with that. I don't have nothing against you, Mr. Ray. But all I've seen is that plan in that book. You have not broken it down department by department like who? Weston Lindemann. You have not told us specifically that you know what this. Now, before we went to break, Hope said that this wasn't about Chris Reed. For me, it is.
It is.
Because he is our chief of police. The chief of police supposed to.
Dice, excuse me, post the call-in number. It's not posted.
They supposed to enact law. So now he trying to take us back. He done got rid of all these black officers. He done doing all these things against who? Black officers. But then he done start beating us up. He done start so yeah. For me,
it's personal.
I've always been a justice and a law student. Yeah. I care about all the rest. But injustices, I have to really, really pray about.
Yeah.
Yes, it's about him. Yeah. It's about all of them.
It's about all of them. Anytime your head is corrupt, the body can't be bad too.
That's right.
And so if your department's heads, leaders are seeing you doing corrupt things, and one more thing is that on my last show I talked about this young man Deuces about him being an informant for the city. Now I paraphrase what was said, but we're gonna take this call and I'll talk about it next. Okay, Dice, bring that person on. You on the podcast?
What up, Mr. Gray Ho?
What up, Lord? What up?
I think Dice didn't post that number on purpose. He knew I was going to call in.
He over there laughing. You might be right.
I know you, my buddy. I text Gray Ho's phone to let him know you didn't post the number. You know I had to call in and run my mouth. Now, Gray, check this out. You know, people vote for people now. They vote based off popularity.
Right.
They don't vote for people they know is going to do a spectacular job. They vote for people based off of them going to school with them, or they next door neighbor or friend, or went to church with them. You know, basically popularity. Popularity don't get the job done.
Sure don't.
I listened to the show last night, Weston Lindemann live video last night after the WTOK hosted that mayoral forum. Now I'm gonna tell you something. I don't have anything against Jimmy Smith. I used to work with Mr. Robert Ray out there at the prison. Weston Lindemann ran circle around them. I just had to keep it real. He ran circle around both of them because he knows city government. The lie that Weston Lindemann done as you listen into this podcast, Mr. Jimmy Smith, nothing against you, sir. You were like what, 20 years of my junior. You know what I'm saying? He's about 20 years older than I am. But I know politics, and I think I know politics better than Mr. Smith. Western live video. Well, I know for a fact I know politics better than Mr. Smith. Doesn't matter about the age. I know politics. I was out there on the pavement barefooted with the late civil rights icon, the late Miss Paula Hatterberg. So I know politics very well before Mr. Smith even got into politics. When Western Limit done that live after that mayoral forum that was shown on WTOK on last night, he mentioned in that his live video on his page, he done a video after that forum, and he stated that Jimmy Smith has 30 years of experiment. That wasn't true. That wasn't true. That wasn't true. And I know that he gotten that from Mr. Jimmy Smith saying he have 30 years of experience. He have 20 years of being Lauderdale County supervisor, and he said that he was a detective for Meridian Police Department for 10 years. Well, how many years ago since he's been out of office? About 16 years ago, being a supervisor. Things don't change since then. In Lauderdale County, as a supervisor, they governor different than the city. That's probably the reason why Mr. Smith been showing up at the city council meeting here lately to try to learn city governor. Now, when it comes to experience, Western Limit got both of his opponents beat by 4 years.
That's right.
Because they don't know city government. Jimmy Smith only knows county government. And since he don't left, when Raymond Newell beat him, 16, 12 years ago, or however many years ago it been.
16.
Even the county government don't change since then.
That's right.
So to say that he got 30 years of experience, you can have 50 years of experience. I want to know, are you capable of doing the job? Now, out of all three city council, mayor candidates, I think Weston would beat all. I think that he have more experience than all of them when it comes to city of government. But it's up to the people to decide. And I think that this race is going to be based off of popularity. It's not going to be based off who they think is capable of doing the job. Now, the only person that have a plan that we heard his plan is Weston Linneman. I haven't heard the plan from the other candidates. So I can't go out there and promote somebody when I haven't heard your plan, and they go out there and vote for the wrong person, then they get in the seat. You can't hold their foot to the fire because they never told you what they're going to do.
That's right.
Weston Linneman told you what he was going to do.
That's right. Go ahead.
But Gray, check this out, Gray. Chris Reed, he should have been gone a long time ago.
That's right.
Now, I had somebody to try to argue with me last night up on the one of the City of Meridian, not City of Meridian, attorney here in Meridian, to tell me that Jimmy Smith had more experience.
That's not
and
true.
So due to the fact I didn't want to argue up under this man's post, I inboxed the guy. I said, 20 years being a supervisor doesn't compare to city governor. I said, supervisor governor different. City council, you have to have a majority vote. Supervisor, they basically is their own mayor in their own district. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they governor different. So when it comes to experience, Weston Linneman have more years of experience than both candidates working for the city.
That's right.
He knows city government. He knows city government. For as Jimmy Smith calling in to WMOX radio station this past Friday, I really couldn't understand what he was saying. But like you said early on, all the other candidates, Rankin Easton, even at Lane Duck, sellout ass Percy Bland, Taisha Lindsay Bell, that running for city council in Ward 5, Robert Ray, all of them went inside the studio. But Jimmy Smith wasn't there. He called in on the phone, and I really couldn't understand what he was saying. Now, here's the thing. If he don't want to come inside your studio on Thursday, let him. He should call in the same way he called in to WMOX. I'm gonna tell you this, Gray. Some people, it depends on who the person is. It could be because it's you, the reason why he don't want to come in. I need for black people to get up off that notion of not want to deal with certain black people because who the oppressor doesn't like. I have
That's
people
right.
that dislike, that don't want to be involved with me, or don't want to be seen interacting with me on social media, or don't want to be seen with me out in public because of the oppressor. It's time out for all of that bullshit. It's us, the one that's suffering. It's our community that's going without. It's time out for all that shit. They need to team up and let's do this thing together and work together. So, Jimmy Smith, if you out there listen to this podcast, how about call into Mr. Holt's show on Thursday? Do the same thing you done to WMOX this past Friday. Call into the man's show. If you got Rick Berry and Sherry Berry right there by your side telling you what to say, oh, well, call into the show.
Yeah.
We want to hear your plan. We have yet to hear your plan, sir. And I don't think it's fair for people to be misled and vote for people based off of popularity, you know. I don't think that's right. Tell us what you going to do. Damn getting off in the seat and learning the job. Hell, who going to pay you $90,000 just to learn the job or come up with a damn plan?
That's
Put
right.
somebody there that's already know the damn job that's been there for 4 years.
Okay, thank you,
So
Lord.
that's all I got to say. That's all I got to say, Mr. Hope.
Thank you, Dice.
Let me say this. I'm back on the fact that at the end of the day, a mayor position is one position. And until a person being a mayor of the city, the entire city, to do what's best for the most that he can, then nobody has any experience. City government, yes, but being a mayor is all about what person you put over each department. Those are the people who going or should have the most knowledge. Because those are the people that the mayor is going to be looking to do, because if you got 20 departments, he can't be at all of them meetings and go out and get money for the city or try to get jobs for the city. He can't do it, but he got to put good, sound people in those positions. And people looking to progress themselves and not the majority of the city. That's our problem. The circle of people, don't you know that we all should know? It has always been about, what do you call it when you my friend or you my family and then I help you, but it's always been bigger. Networking. I'm talking about networking, because if you got a job and you got a job and you got a job and then we on this big project, why should I go to Alabama to hire somebody and I got somebody over here doing it? Go on and get that person that you know. But here, in the last 15 years, all of the people that our mayor's been hiring is out of town. And it's killing the small businesses in town. And this has not just happened with the last administration, but it did get worse. Everything has gotten worse. So the reason why we can say about Western Lindeman is that's what he said he's going to do. But nobody else have said that they're going to do that. So if I don't even tell you, if I don't even try to tell you what I'm going to try to do, when I get in and do whatever I want to, whenever I want to, with whom I want to, and where I want to, you ain't got nothing to say to me. You can pay all the taxes in the world, but I ain't told you I was going to do nothing, and so I ain't lied.
That's right. Dice.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Baby boy Keith says, "What's up, y'all? Hope all is well. Would have liked to see a debate hosted on you guys' show with the mayoral candidates present." Yeah.
And we're going to try to do that this Thursday. So, well, I think that if a person wants your vote, they should come here and ask for it.
But are you game that if you have it, and Jimmy want to call in like he did?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He don't have a way out now. Genius, Lo. Pure genius. He had a way out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, now he don't have a way out because you can call into this show like you call into that show.
Well, in my opinion, he didn't have a way out. He just made one.
Well, what I mean by that, if I don't allow for him to call in, then he got a way out. But now he's boxed in because he called in there. Why won't he call in here? But we ain't going to have a debate about that.
I got you.
Dice man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Crazy G-Ma says, "I want to see Lolo back soon."
Lo, you MIA. Lo would have been here today, but things Mira Myra.
Mirror.
Mirror. Woo, mirror something. I got a mirror in there. Where you at, my little mirror? I got a little mirror in there.
Don't stir up.
Ooh, I'm telling you,
right
she
now.
quiet right now. Boy, it's hard for her to stay focused. She got a high IQ. When people have a high IQ, you may not believe it or not, but they're always doing things. They're always getting in trouble. Instead of fussing at them, let them explore. Let them do things. What they do to, we gonna say, I almost said our children, but they mostly our children, is that they give them Ritalin and Adderall, and what that does is slow them down. Slow them down.
Yeah.
They put them on SSI, give them $800 for the rest of their life. While you can't even pay a rent.
I don't even think it's $800.
It's $896 or something like that.
Really?
$796. It's almost $800 dice. It's close to $800.
Okay. Chandra Lynch says hello, everyone.
What's up, niece?
Hey.
Okay. Mississippi B Max says, as a white dude, I understand Miss Franklin, but on the other hand, you might just be hearing what you want from the other candidate.
Could be, but at least we're hearing something, Matt.
Well, here's what Weston said about that. Not only is he saying it, he's putting it in writing, because you can go to his page and you can see the same exact thing.
I still go back to, yes, we can be lied to by anybody. And we have been lied to for the last, forever and a day. But right now, if we're going to go off of what we told and what we see, this young man have been fighting for us for the past 3.5 years on the council. He really has. So, hey, that's
and also when we go and we protest about wrongdoing, whatever it is, he was always there.
Mm-hmm.
Dice.
Okay. Johnny Magruder says, hello, reaching out with Eddie fam.
Yeah.
Y'all, you all looking great. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, dude.
Okay. Mississippi B Max says, Weston has a lot of good ideas, but my question is, where have these plans been implemented at in other cities, and have they worked?
I can tell
wait
you.
a minute, let me answer that. Yeah. Too bad. You better come get your
You
sister.
better go ahead on and answer what you got to
Hey,
say.
but what I'm saying is, because other cities didn't have the same problems that we have in this city right here. When they have it, they address it right then. They fire the chief of police. Google it. They fire public works directors. They send them to prison. They send males to prison. Google it. Black males are among, besides the one up in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken, black males, once they start coming in power, were the first mayors that I know of to start going to prison for corruption.
And the thing about it is, well, now you know what it is. Don't even go there.
He said we ain't gonna have no.
What you had to say, Matt. Let me tell you something. As my grandmama and my elders taught me, there's a first Sunday in every month. Weston Lindeman is barely. He ain't even reached 25 yet. How many 25-year-old males that you know with the brain of this guy? I'm not saying that he got all the answers. And you are absolutely right in the questions you're answering, because maybe if when we tell you the right answers and you look it up, it may go and change your mind and make you say, I better look at this thing. That's what we supposed to do, discuss. Just because I say it's true, that don't make it true. But you got to think about this. You know me. You know Ho. You know what this show has been about. And we have tried. But, and I wish we all was as blessed as you are to live, where you live. I mean, I live in a peaceful place. But we got to try to help the inner city. We got to try to help our people. We can't go into this thing in the blind anymore. And we only have 6 days. We have waited and waited for our candidate to at least do something about the information that he's given to say, yes, I checked into this, it did check out, and no, I will not put up with that. I got to get somebody else in mind, and then that's the. He refused to do it, and we can't go no longer. We got 6 more days.
When I first come back to this town, I seen some of the same treatments. On us ever since I've been a child, the same treatments. We have the power to change things. The military take a group of men in 6 to 8 weeks, train them to do any kind of job they want them to do. We have the power.
And it really makes me want to cry sometimes, y'all.
And I want to say this, is that go and look at it. Birmingham, Alabama elected their first young black mayor. And he's doing things in that city has never been before.
Wow.
And he's young. If I'm not mistaken, he was in his 20s, a little older than Weston, but he's young, and he won it. Google it. And he's doing an excellent job. And you had older folk older black folk, because it's a majority black city, that was running the city in the ground, and he beat them. You have people with PhD. This young man beat them because he had a plan and he implemented his plan. And what we got, if we keep standing in the way of young folks, and why don't you get our boy and get a job? Well, you got his job.
Yeah.
He can't get a job.
Right.
You got his job.
That's right.
Old folk need to get the hell out of the way. That's why I don't mind.
There are
Dwayne
innovative,
Davis.
fresh ideas out there. There
That's
are
right.
ways. I mean, I like his plan to take that money and stop borrowing money and keep raising our taxes and I'm tired of paying taxes. I feel like I done paid my taxes, and I pay more taxes than most people in the inner part of the city. I'm supposed to be paying no taxes, especially what I pay. But they came and got me and a lot of others. And what have they given me? Grief. I see my people suffering. I see my children suffering. I see black people being beat, being put on them just for the way they wear their clothes. Come on now. I can't hardly take it, man. I can't hardly take it. Meridian has no business looking like it is, and our people have no business being treated the way they do. Period.
And he's 41 years old now, but he was young when he became a mayor. He's the youngest person that ever became mayor for the state. His name is Brandon Woodfin, and he's gay too. Not saying the Western is gay, but my point of it is that we got to stop criticizing people for what they do and who they are because of their age, because of their race, especially black folk. And this mayor here had a plan, and he beat the person that was in there, had his PhD and used to be over the school up there in Alabama. But we're more about that, Dice Man.
Okay, Johnny Magruder says, what do you think of Biden giving another grand speech on blacks when he's did things against us? He's doing this for the black vote because we are the elections, but some are so dumb they won't vote. Okay, all right.
Let me throw that
Proofread,
out,
people.
please. I'm so mad at him, I don't know what to do.
At who?
Right?
Oh, yeah. Okay, we ain't going to go in. Dice done told us about our talk show.
No talk show.
Oh,
Okay, Richard, you was going to say something?
A man always gonna he gonna make a speech for money and power. It's always money and power. Money and power. You guys spend more money than a little bit. You never investing in anything. And then you're mad at me because I invest my money into something that's worthwhile. Why you mad at me? I only have a few dollars. I make my money work for me.
Yeah. Dice.
Okay. All right, Johnny Magruder also says, rest in peace to the victims of the Tulsa Race Massacre, but I want everyone at the show, including the DJ, on what you think about reparations for black folks. We need legislation just like Asians, the Asian hate bill is what they're saying.
that was a huge part of Biden's campaign.
I just think that there should be anybody been mistreated should receive reparation. Everybody else has, except us.
Right.
We should be. Nice.
Okay, and I concur. John Magruder also says, as well, Eddie, we need for someone to run for U.S. Rep. If you could pick one to represent you in the U.S. House, who would you all pick?
The man in the mirror.
Okay.
I know that, right? The thing about it is, y'all concur that we should have reparations.
True.
What are we gonna do to help get them? Because we keep saying we can't wait on nobody else. We got to start in the city of
Too
Meridian.
bad she doing it again.
They're trying to sell us.
Go ahead, Dice.
Oh, boy. All right.
Oh, Lord.
All right. Mr. B. Mac says, if Biden can be president, Jimmy sure can be mayor.
This ain't
He
no
talking
laughing
about the
matter.
age.
He
He
talking
about the age.
No, I don't think so. I
Good
think,
joke, Mac.
Yeah, no,
Good joke.
No, it's
Mac ain't
not.
doing nothing but joking. you know he ain't doing nothing but
Yeah,
joking.
it's not a good joke because no, look. Let me speak now.
I ain't finna say that.
It's not a good joke, and I'm gonna tell you why it's not a good joke. Because what you're saying basically is that perhaps maybe Jimmy should be president, and maybe what you're saying is that Biden is senile. He hadn't shown that. Then Biden is everywhere doing everything and saying everything, but Jimmy is not doing any of those things. This here is very serious for me because this is the city, this is my town right here, and I wanted to have the best possible representation without somebody, the puppet master, controlling the puppet. And it seems that's what we're getting with Jimmy Smith. And I don't mean that in an offensive type way. I mean that out of all respect. I just got to speak factual. I've been factual about everything. And when I got factual, then Jimmy Smith didn't want to talk to me. So then I started supporting him and he talked to me. And so now I'm not supporting his type or his kind or the policies and the thing that he appears to be supporting. As a man, as a person and a citizen of the United States, that's my right. And he got to respect that. I respect my brother for what he told me. I respect Marie when she tell me things I need to hear. I don't get mad at her and not have anything else to do with her. I cannot have any respect for Brother Lofton over there if he would tell me what I want to hear. And all the time, eventually I'm going to get tired of hearing his praise. How can you make steel if you don't take iron, rock, mix it together, and put heat to it? When you criticize me, you're putting heat to me, Dice.
Okay. Mississippi Mac also says Weston seems to have all the plans. Has he announced his CAO?
No, he has not. What he did say is that he would clean house. What he did say is that all those people that have jobs that are not qualified, he will look at how they got those jobs and whether or not those jobs are legally there. He said that he would send board members a letter and ask all of them for their resignation letter. Because you understand that the board member hires Ron Turner. The board member hires Amy Carter. And Amy Carter. The board member hires John Compton, keep giving him. So they're not doing us any service when you're getting along just to fit in, just to not be alone. When you keep giving John Compton his job over and over again, even after the Justice Department came here again, this man is still out there. Only a school board. I needed to have been the school board president. I would have legally compelled them to fire that man. I think I'm pretty persuasive.
Which man?
John Compton. He should have been fired a long time ago. Amy Carter should have been fired a long time ago.
Yeah, because
and certain people's been hired should not have been hired.
That's right.
It shows incompetence when she bring in
the
Joe
police
Green.
should have never been hired. He didn't even put in the application, for God's sakes. That's what Weston House said, is that when he look at how you got your job, if it was not according to how civil service or regulations say you should have got it, then you won't have it. And that's the only thing he can do is to try to right some wrongs. And that's what we need, because we're the ones that have been the target of all this unjustifiable stuff. So when somebody tell me I'm going in the police department and I'm going to have it looked at how this young man, Mr. Barber, got murdered. I'm going to have it looked at what happened over here. I'm going to look at them tapes. That's all we can ask for. We're not asking for anything other than what any man or woman wants. That's right. It's just Mac and anybody else. It's time. It's just time, y'all.
Yeah.
It's
we
just
want
time.
to sit
That's
at the
all
table too, and we tired of eating the scraps of meat off the floor under the table. When we buying the food.
I just said we bet you when we buying the
Yeah,
groceries. We on the same page now, bro.
We buying the food, but we eating scraps of meat under the table. Hell no, this stuff is not going to happen where we just vote for you because you look good, or vote for you because we know you, or vote for you because you coming along. You supposed to be our savior.
Oh no, save not the wrong S word.
Dice.
Okay. Jim Myers says, tuned in and sharing your broadcast.
Thank you, Jim.
He also says, go Weston, young man. Vote for Weston Linderman, mayor of Meridian, Mississippi.
And I would be proud to have him as mayor.
Yeah.
And it ain't got nothing to do with, it's up to me. I ain't never asked anybody to take care of me. I'm taking care of myself. I took a hellified blow in 2018. I didn't beg, I didn't do anything but pull myself up by my own bootstrap to be where I am today and have what I have.
But look at this. Think about this. Now, all this time, Meridian had Caucasian mayors. We ain't never, had no rallies or riots or nothing else against them. We waited for our turn. We took this, that. Okay. I don't care what nobody say. I keep up with it. Have kept up with it. We have never had someone to treat black people as bad as Blair.
And that's
never.
the truth. And
now, you mean to tell me?
And I'm older than Marie.
We don't want nobody to be racist against us. But we're not going to look at what's been going on in that city for 8 years. And we're going to decide who becomes mayor of this city for the next 4 years based on race. Now, if you're going to look at this thing right, we were the one bearing the worst of the last 8 years.
That's
and
right.
you're not going to try to fix it now. You might as well just take a knife or put it to your throat or a gun to your head because you're killing yourself and you're killing your grandchildren.
That's right. Dice.
Okay. And last but not least, Jim Merrick says the EMBDC has done a lot to keep Meridian from growing.
And that is true. And Jimmy Smith is talking about doubling the
I
money
thought
he's
you
going to
finna
give
say
them.
I'm talking a lot for
agree.
Meridian. I'm finna say to cut him off completely. The EMBDC ain't did nothing but made the rich richer and the poor. They ain't brought nothing in here.
Their job is to
and
keep
you are
in the
exactly
job.
right. Jimmy's talking about giving them more money to do what?
Nothing.
Somebody please type it in what they have done. I've been following them since I was in real estate, and I started real estate in 1999. They have done nothing for this city. You fooling yourself. It's all been a shadow because when you don't understand, and Marie, I have not tried to keep up with all the wheels of all these things to make this city run. But what I have looked at, and you need to look at the west side. Look at the east side. Used to be beautiful. Look at the south side. And the north side ain't even in that great shape. What else we got to lose? What? You got more housing projects than anything in the city. And you got restaurants and hotels. Come on now.
That's right.
Y'all better wake up.
And I got to say this too. One of the things the city of Meridian need to come up with a city ordinance so that you can have fixed prices on hotels. Do you know that the hotels doubled their price for hotels? I had the Grand Master here, and I want to thank him for coming here and doing a wonderful job. He'll be back Thursday. For those of you that missed that, inbox me or send me a...
They doubled the price for what?
Hotels.
Money.
Like, say, if a hotel cost $60, when you went to the hotel, it was like $120.
When?
They did that over Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, wow.
Because they don't control it, and they need to control that. That's usually when you just charge people because they're traveling.
Well,
and
isn't that controlled by city government?
It is. Mm-hmm. And the water bill needs to go down. And the same thing, again, it's just things that need to be dealt with. But, Marie, anything you want to say to the people?
Water bill can't go down for the people in the city because they took all that money out the water fund, and then so who the people, the EPA came in and said...
It'll go down when we change this administration and get the right candidates in.
I'm just going to say to you, we got 6 more days. Whether you listen to a debate, whether you listen to a forum, you done had all this time to see. We done waited and waited. June the 8th, you need to tell somebody to get to that poll. And if you want better, if you want a life for yourself, you want a life for your husband or your boyfriend or your baby daddy and all your children and grandma, I don't care who you want it for. You better get to the polls and do the right thing. Because I'm telling you right now, unless you do for yourself, ain't nobody but God coming in here to save you. And even He require you to do some things. Peace out.
Thank you, Marie. Love.
I own everything, so I control everything. You got to realize that. I own everything. I control everything. You own nothing. You don't control nothing. The only thing you got is the power that you got to vote.
Use it. And any more comments, Dice? Again, I want to encourage each of you to leave your comments. We're going to have the debate here Thursday. And so, candidates, whatever you got planned, make sure you can be here. And so, Jimmy Smith, you can call in. If you can't make it here, then you can call in and we'll have you on the phone. That way you can answer the questions and you can say and listen and everything, too. So, we're going to have the debate Thursday. Marie coming here still, Marie?
I'm going to come just in case you don't have one, because sure. May not be nobody
we're going to
here.
have one.
I don't know if I could be quiet if you had one.
Bring the tape.
Again, I want
Dice done threatened to take my mouth up, y'all.
I gotta say this is that I have, like, you know, I tell everybody I have a lot of children. I have like 21 children, and not any of my children have any of my talent. No, I'm not Joe Jackson. I'm not gonna make my child be what I am or what I want them to be. I want each one of them to individualize. And so, but the irony in all this is that my grandson plays guitar and does these things that I do. So I gave him a brand new guitar, PV guitar in the case, and I can tell you, to my daughter videoed, and I can tell you that to see how his response and how his face lit up, it just made my millennium. Y'all have a good evening. Dice, take me home.